God Valley, the legendary war where Rocks, Newgate, Roger, Kaido, Big Mom, and the greatest monsters of all time clashed. And among them stood the Dark King, Rayleigh. Yes, I'm not kidding. You'll be shocked when you discover what this means for Oda's story. Honestly, Oda is a genius. This is the first look at One Piece chapter 1157. Let's begin. The title of the chapter is The Legendary Hall. This could refer to Shakuyaku's hall in the Sabaody archipelago. We'll confirm that after diving into the leaks. On the cover, we return to Yamato's journey. Yamato visits the grave of a fallen hero who died fighting Kaido. Some believe this could be the zombie Zoro fought in Thriller Bark, the one said to have killed 700 knights. But since that figure supposedly died in battle against Kaido, the theory doesn't really hold. More likely, this is Shimatsuki Ashimaru, one of the most important heroes during Kaido's reign aside from Odin. Now, let's dive into the chapter events. We see how the Rocks pirates constantly tried to betray one another. Then, the narrator recounts their countless crimes. At first, I thought there was one major traitor within the crew, but it turns out betrayal was simply their way of life. Only Whitebeard stood apart, with his strong sense of honor. The rest were driven purely by self-interest. Honestly, I don't even see Rock's crew as traitors. In fact, the odd one out is the one who doesn't betray. Even in our own world, if great nations form an alliance, each one still looks for chances to dominate the others. Everyone competes for the throne, that's human nature. Even noble causes can hide betrayal, just under different names like fighting for justice or defeating evil. Now, about Harald. It's said he once saved someone from Elbaf from the world government. This strained Elbaf's relationship with them. Harald even interfered in government affairs, like stepping in when CP agents tried to arrest someone in an allied country. Later, Rocks returned to Elbaf to meet Harald in Ida's office, with Loki secretly spying. Rocks kept begging Harald to join his crew again. For years, he repeated the same request, "Join me." That's how much importance he placed on Harald. Why? Because Rocks believed the Nika fruit would never show its full power unless Harald ate it. According to Elbaf legends, the first Nika was a giant. So in Rock's mind, the fruit belonged to Elbaf, and only Harald, their king, could unleash its true potential. Meanwhile, poor Loki kept chasing after Harald's approval, trying to be recognized as a hero. Now we move to the Marine base. There, Garp asked Kong to allow a giant to join the navy, arguing they needed that strength. Kong, however, replied that such a thing could only happen if the world government agreed. They also discussed Rocks. So, does this mean Garp was the first to propose giants in the navy? Interesting, because we know the first giant to actually join was thanks to Mother Caramel, Vice Admiral John Giant, the one who later fought Whitebeard at Marineford. And now, one of the biggest shocks in One Piece history. Do you remember the treasure of the Beehive, seized by the world government? The Rocks pirates went to God Valley to reclaim it. Roger and even the merfolk got involved, everyone fighting for it. But in the end, the treasure was none other than Shakuyaku. Yes, Shakuyaku. She left the Beehive Island and opened a shop on Sabaody. Imagine leaving a position like that, only to become a bar owner. People mocked her choice, but at the same time, every Rocks pirate fell in love with her, even Rocks himself, and Whitebeard too. The scene became legendary. Pirates drooling, eyes turning into hearts, fighting over her beauty. That's why the treasure of the Beehive came to be called the Treasure of Pirate Island. If you reread chapters like 1095, you'll see the hints. When Stussy told Newgate, "Even you, Newgate?" Meaning he too fell for Shakuyaku. Gloriosa said Stussy didn't stand a chance against her. Captain John called her the Rayleigh treasure. Big Mom wanted her, Kaido was shocked, Whitebeard said they had to confirm her existence, Roger confessed how much she haunted him for a whole year, and even Gabon fought Roger for her. And in the end? The only man who didn't care about winning Shakuyaku was Rayleigh. That's why he was the one who truly won. The real victor of the God Valley incident, one of the greatest wars since the Void Century, was none other than the Dark King, Silver's Rayleigh. Finally, the chapter closes in Merry Geos. The Gorosei send a message to Harald, telling him they would allow Elbaf to join the world government, but only if Harald kills Rox de Xebec. We already know the government was the one who killed Rox, as Loki once stated. But could Harald himself have betrayed Rox? Did he kill him to secure Elbaf's place in the world government? That would be a shocking twist. All in all, this chapter is both fascinating and shocking, especially with the Shakuyaku revelation. Good news, there's no break next week. And that's where the leaks end for now. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to drop a like and share your thoughts in the comments.